Okay, everybody, it is 9 o'clock Eastern Time. This is Mark Holmes calling in from Ocean City, Maryland. I'm going to get right to it here. Warm welcome to all the new people listening in tonight. Real excited for you. Also, great job with the weekly team reports this week. The reports, it just shows what you guys are doing and results is what it comes down to. So the first thing I want to talk about here tonight, and this might be the only thing, we'll see how much time we have, but getting out of your comfort zone, okay? This is what's necessary. This is what most people need to do, okay? This is what holds most people back from getting started, hitting new levels. Comfort zone is getting by with what you're used to. And that's where most people stay. Comfort zone is getting by with what you're used to. So staying in the comfort zone is very dangerous. And most people really don't realize this or understand this because this has never been brought to their attention. It keeps you in a direction that you might not realize you're going. Okay, there's only two directions that we can go in. That's forwards and that's backwards. And if you're not moving forward, the obvious answer is you're moving backwards. Most people don't realize that until years down the road, sometimes decades down the road. So most people don't even realize this. They don't even realize that they're going backwards. So getting out of your comfort zone is 100% necessary to move forward. That's what we need to understand. And it's not just listening to it and okay, that's what I need to do. It's actually doing it. You need to keep an open mind to new ideas. If you're not moving forward, the obvious is the old ones aren't working. That's the obvious. It takes getting out there and meeting new people, guys. Picking up the phone and calling more people. Sometimes it's the most painful thing that people have to do or that they do. But that's what's necessary. You have to force yourself to get out of your comfort zone. Eventually you'll get to the point where you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's just repetition. That's going through this over and over. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that sounds crazy, but that's what happens when you get to that point. And as we hear all the time, the saying goes, everything happens outside your comfort zone. There's a lot of posts on Facebook out there, a lot of images that people post, and I post this occasionally. Everything happens outside your comfort zone. So common sense. Common sense tells us where you need to be. If everything happens outside your comfort zone, that's where you have to be. What's going to help everyone get there is what drives you. And that's your why. That's your why. That's why, like we talked about on other conference calls, what drives you? Getting your kids to college, paying your house off or helping family, whatever it is. You really have to understand what your why is. What's awesome really is when you get past that line, you realize what you've been missing. And it becomes clear. So it's going to take new ideas and forcing yourself to do things different. You have to break your pattern. And the same word comes up, comfortable. You get comfortable with that pattern. say, okay, well, tomorrow it's just so easy to do that same thing, getting that same pattern. You have to break that pattern, and really what you have to do is set a date. Tomorrow, tonight, whenever, right now. Break that pattern. Pick up the phone. Call somebody. Do use your 3-foot rule. Will really pull you out of your comfort zone. As 3-foot rule. Calling people on the phone. Sometimes the phone seems like it's 800 pounds, but you got to lift it up and put it to your ear and actually talk to somebody. What's it going to do? The worst thing that anybody can say to you is no. Okay, so you move on. For those of you that have done this already, that's awesome. You're doing great. We've gone over a lot of stuff to get you to the next level, earning your first check, increasing your last check, and so on, rising in rank. What we all need to remember is we have the gold mine. And this is what a lot of people don't understand and realize, that we really do. And if you don't understand this, you really have to get your belief level up there and really understand this, because we do have that gold mine. We have what it's going to take that most people are looking for, that extra $300 a month. Now think about this. A lot of people that I know, $300 a month will totally change their current life. $300, $500, $800 a month, $1,000 will change thousands and thousands of people, their lives. So you really have to get your belief level up there. There's millions of people out there looking for something to get them out of a certain situation, and we have it. Whether you realize it or not, you have it, I have it, we all have it. Everybody on this call has it. And the only person that really can hold you back is you. And a lot of people need to understand that too. And think about it. Don't just say it and listen to me say it. The only person that can hold you back is you. Sometimes it takes getting ourselves out of our own way. And it's another great Facebook post that we see out there all the time. Get yourself out of your own way. It's so simple, really. And sometimes it's painful trying to get yourself out of your own way. Sometimes the enemy is within ourselves. I listen to a lot of Les Brown, and that's what he says all the time. Sometimes the enemy is within ourselves. So when do we know we're there? We know we're there when we're producing results. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. Everything happens outside of your comfort zone. You know when you're there, when you're out of your comfort zone, when you're producing results. The next thing is when you get there, the worst thing you can do is stop. Don't get comfortable with the next level. All it is a stepping stone. So when you stop, you're done. There's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. Break yourself away from the negative people in your life that pull you down. And there's a lot of people out there, and sometimes they're the closest people to you. Trust me, I've been there. Break yourself away from the negative people in your life. There's no one there to tell us we can't do it. If there's no one there that will tell us we can't do it, it becomes very doable. And this is a statistic that is true. 80% of the population allows fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. 87%. Now think about that. The population, 314 million, I think, people in the United States. That's just in the United States. 87% of those people allow fear of failure to just totally disable them and not move forward. So what we have here, guys, you really need to understand there's a lot of people that are succeeding that have zero experience. None. Their profession was something totally outside of this. They've never had experience with network marketing. They've never earned a check. They've never built an organization. They've never recruited one person. So myself, I was the same person. I came from a construction background. I knew if those people can do it, I knew that I could. That's what you need to understand. That's what you need to absorb. Basically, I'm just a guy that swung a hammer for 27 years. If I can do this, absolutely anybody can. I know that. So some questions we really need to ask ourselves is, do you really want to succeed? Another good one is, why do you want to succeed? And that gets down to your why. And another great one, which is, I think, a great driver, great motivator, is how long will it take you to reach the goals, your goals, with what you're currently doing? And I use that a lot when I'm talking to people, when, prospects, new prospects. And it's painful for people to really sit there and think about it, and they start thinking back a year, 5 years, 10 years, sometimes 2-3 decades. How long will it take you to reach your goals with what you're currently doing? People start thinking, I haven't hit my goals yet. It's painful. And emotion, a lot of times emotion will drive people to the next level. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to cover tonight. There's a lot of people that I'm talking to and trying to help that I know in my mind that's what those people need. I know for a fact that's what those people need. It's just a matter of getting out of their own comfort zone. They have everything. How we've gone over so much material and techniques that there's no reason why anybody shouldn't be moving forward. And for those of you that are, that's great. You're taking action, and like David Moses says all the time, action supersedes everything, and that's true. There's nothing more powerful than that. So another thing I really want to cover tonight, and I'm going to make this quick, is another thing that we've covered on the corporate calls, and that's the depth charge. Now, I'm going to go through this kind of quick, so you might want to be taking notes. The depth charge. Okay, now what this is where you're working with your team. Okay? Now, it's a certain leg in your team. And you could be doing this on 2 legs if you want. But basically the way it works is it could be that you get somebody started. Okay? And they go in what's called the holding tank. The holding tank is in your back office, and if you have trouble finding it, you have the settings in your back office. Weaker leg, strong leg, left leg, right leg, or holding tank. So you want your back office to be set to holding tank. And everybody else participating in the depth charge needs to understand that they have to do the same. So first step is have everybody set their back office to holding tank. Okay, and I believe that's in the settings somewhere. I forgot exactly where it was. But, again, get with your upline, get with me if you need help with that. Now, the way this works is it can be you that gets somebody started. They're in your holding tank. That means they're not placed. The holding tank is a tank, excuse me, that when you go and you view your team in your back office, up at the top there, it's going to show you information that there's a person that's in your holding tank. They're not going to show down in your organization. They're not going to show in your left leg. They're not going to show in your right leg. They're in the holding tank until you place that person or until the next cycle comes about. So you have that person in your holding tank, and it could be that somebody else in your downline has a person in their holding tank. So the way this works is you're going to reach out to everybody in your downline, your leg, or where you're building. So let's say there's even number. Let's say there's 20 people. 20 people in your leg that you're building, and that's where you're planning on putting that person. So underneath that 20th person, that's where your person's going to go. But before you do that, you're going to reach out to everybody in that leg and let everybody know, listen, I have a person that I'm going to be placing. Reach out to all of your people, and this works well with people that have been on the fence for a while. So you want to reach out to those people. Have them reach out to their people. Everybody in that leg. And what you're going to do, everybody's going to work together. Everybody's going to reach out to their people. Now think about this. If you have 20 people reaching out to all of their prospects, people that are on the fence, scratching their head, trying to figure out if this is what they want to do or not, and you're going to tell them, listen, I have one person that we personally enrolled already. We can place them under you if you want to get started right away. Now, this is going to do nothing but benefit that person. And this kind of gets down to sense of urgency, fear loss. Fear loss will drive a lot of people. But it's good for everybody all around. It's good for momentum. It's good for the people that are getting started. Of course, I mean, common sense. Who wouldn't want to start with somebody already underneath of them? I mean, that's just common sense. That's a no-brainer. Sure, I would. Who wouldn't want to start with two people already underneath of them? Now, how that works is you already have one person, and somebody else down there, say it's number 5 spot, they have somebody that got started. Now they have somebody in the holding tank. Now you've got 2 people that you need to place. So now you're going to go back, and the whole team's got to understand this. There's got to be one person. There's got to be one person in control of this. So when somebody has somebody that comes on and they have them in their holding tank, they have to right away let everybody know, or let that one person know actually, that's in control. Let that one person know, I have another person. So now there's 2. So that one person alerts the rest of the 20 people or 19 people in that leg. Now we have 2 people. Make sure you get to your people and say, listen, now we have 2 people that we need to place. How serious are you about, and then that's where you go into all that. Now, you can do this. Now, keep in mind, if you've got a couple of people doing this, that's great. But if you have 20, 10, 20, even 5 people doing this, you can totally blow out a whole leg. And what that's going to do, it's going to create momentum, and it's going to it can blow up an entire organization. So this is very powerful And if you don't understand this, get with me, get with your sponsor, but use this. And use it every week. Use it every week. If you have somebody that's coming on and you have people in that leg, you want to make sure that you maximize that week by utilizing the depth charge. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I'm going to keep these calls kind of short here, as short as I can. But appreciate everybody and what you're doing. It's awesome what's happening here. So I'm going to open up the lines here, and we'll see you next Sunday at 9 Eastern. The lines are open.